I've spent 30 years being the reliable brother. My younger brother, Kyle, was always the one who needed saving. If he crashed a car, I paid the deductible. If he lost a job, he crashed on my couch. My parents always said, "Ben, you're so strong. Kyle just needs a little more help to find his way." Well, last Sunday, at my parents' 40th anniversary dinner, Kyle finally found it. He found my wife, Maya. We're all sitting there over expensive steak and wine that I paid for when my mother sets her fork down and looks at me with this fake, watery-eyed pity. "Ben," she says, "we need to talk about the future." Kyle and Maya, they've realized they're soulmates. They've been seeing each other for 6 months. I felt the air leave the room. I looked at Maya. She wouldn't even meet my eyes. She just reached under the table and squeezed his hand. Then my dad chimes in. "Be a man about this, Ben. You've always been successful. You can find someone else." But Kyle, he needs stability. He needs someone like Maya to keep him on track. "We think it's only fair that you move out of the lake house and let them start their family there." They weren't just asking for a divorce. They were asking for my life, my home, my dignity. Because poor Kyle deserved a win. I didn't scream. I didn't throw a glass. I just nodded slowly, pulled out my phone, and said, "You're right, Dad. Family is everything." What they didn't know was that I'm not just reliable. I'm thorough. I'd noticed the missing money from our joint account months ago. I'd already hired a private investigator. I had photos, hotel receipts, and, most importantly, I had the records from the business Kyle started with a $50,000 loan from my parents. Turns out Kyle wasn't starting a business. He was funneling that money into a high-stakes gambling site, and Maya was the one helping him hide the paper trail. I leaned forward and smiled. "I'll move out of the lake house tonight. But before I go, Kyle, I should probably tell you, the bank called today. Since I'm the co-signer on your business loan, and I just withdrew my backing, they're calling the full amount due. 48 hours, or they seize Mom and Dad's house as collateral." The silence was deafening. My mother's face went from pity to pure terror. I stood up, tucked my napkin into my plate, and looked at Maya. "Good luck with the stability, babe. Hope you like living in a studio apartment, because that's all Kyle's going to have left after the lawyers are done with him." I walked out of that restaurant, blocked all 4 of them, and for the first time in my life, I felt like the lucky one, when the golden child finally loses his shine.